Hi guys, Madison again. I promised you guys a video reflection and results on my very first rated show that I went to in March with Fritz, so this is the promised video. First off, I had a super fun time at the rated show. It was Bloomin Dressage in Tryon, North Carolina, and just super fun. I really had a great time. It was a great facility. I loved the footing there. The footing was awesome. It was really cold the first day. Really cold. Like, they called for overcoats. It was that cold. I didn't wear an overcoat. I just put a fleece shirt on underneath my show shirt and jacket and everything because I had that brand new show jacket that you guys saw in my March JVTS tack haul video. So I really wanted to showcase it. So I was a little cold, but show went really, really well. Those rated shows are really expensive. So that will probably be my only rated show this year because of, you know, getting married this year, next month actually. Oh, scary. But anyway, let's jump right into the tests that I did and the results. Fritz and I competed both days, and we did training level 2 and 3 both days. And they were the new 2015 tests, so I had training 2 memorized, but I actually, due to not being able to ride too much leading up to the show, I actually rode training level 3 for the first time in the show ring, so I didn't have it memorized on day 1, but I had it memorized for my day 2 ride. So I was very happy I only had to have a caller for one test because I tend to do better if I have the test memorized and I'm not trying to listen to someone else and try to concentrate on Fritz and all that other stuff. So let's get started. First test was training 2, and Fritz and I got 6th place, which I was very happy about because the ribbons are lime green, which is his color. I was so happy. And these ribbons are beautiful. They're actually my very first 2-tone ribbons. All my ribbons that I've gotten up to this point are solid. So these are my first 2-tone ribbons. So I was like, yay, pretty colors. So I was really happy with that. And in training level 2, we got a score of 65%, which is our highest training level score currently. I was super pleased. It was like, oh my goodness, very good. And I've got to tell you guys, for this test we had a kick-in warm-up. Warm-up was great. I was just happy. The test went well, and when I'd seen the ribbons, I wanted the 6th place ribbon because y'all know me, I don't put a whole lot of stock in first place. You know, I like to just show for the fun of it, and I think that having the colors with the ribbons is pretty fun. So I was like, ooh, I want the lime green one. So I got the lime green one, the 6th place one, in my very first test. So I was like, okay, I got everything I wanted in my very first test, so everything past this point is bonus. So it was pretty fun. One thing I was really happy about with this test too was that in the individual scores on the sheet, Fritz and I got no lower than a 6, which is a first. We always have 5s and 5.5s on our score sheets. So this was the first one, and I'm also pleased to report that we have been working on our halts, and if I'm remembering correctly, we'll find out as I go through these tests if I remember correctly, but if I remember correctly, we didn't score any lower than a 7 on any of our halts. I think our scores ranged from 7 to 8, and I was like, oh, this is great, because especially since whenever I go to salute, Fritz is like, okay, move forward. This is when we move forward, and I'm like, not yet. So I was really pleased. The test was a little rushed. I tend to have a problem with rushing through my tests and not staying balanced, so, or paced, I should say. Balanced is different. So I've got a lot of marks here that was like, you know, hurried, you know, slow down, that type stuff. But overall, good marks, good marks. And also on the collective marks, they wrote willing. Whoops, I'm still learning this thing. They wrote willing for Fritz. That's a first. That is a definite first. So I was like, ooh, that is wonderful. So I was very happy with that. Very happy with that. This judge here. She was like the I guess you could say kinder judge out of the two. And so like with I noticed with like her scores were rated a little higher than the other one, which I actually liked because I've never gone to a show where I had more than one judge. So I really liked that depending on which judge I went into, depended on like, I knew after the first day, I kind of knew what each judge was looking for and how they scored and how they placed and all that. And it was just super educational. And honestly, I feel like both of the judges were excellent. I mean, yes, you tend to have one judge that's going to score a little higher than the other one when you've got two of them in the same show. That's normal. So but very, very good judging I felt was done at the show. I was very, very pleased with that. So that was the first test. Second test was training level 3. And Fritz and I got a score of 62.955, which was really good. And we actually got 3rd place, yay, in this test. And actually, it was really cool because a friend of mine was showing in the same class, and we actually finished 3rd and 4th, less than a point away from each other. And I thought she had beaten me. I kind of still think that she beat me. Like, watching her ride and watching my ride, I feel like hers was a little bit better. But, you know, I'm not a judge. I don't see what the other judges, or what the judge sees, and I don't have that type of training. But it was really fun, you know, because I really like showing against people who really give you a run for your money and give you really good competition. So I was super happy to have her in the same classes with me. It was awesome, really, really fun. So this test, we got a 7 and an 8 on our halts, and just, you know, he needs balance. He's fussy a little bit. You know, he's obedient but needs balance. You know, he's got fussy contact, which that's Fritz. And he does need to get a lot softer, and some of that is hard for him, not only for the fact that he's, you know, a halflinger, so he's drafty, but also he's just kind of one of those, I want to do it my own way horses. And that's part of dressage, you know, you build up. So I'm very pleased. She commented that he is energetic, which is very true. Her comments were you know, like I need a little bit more willing acceptance of the bit, which is something that we know and we're working on. One judge I had last year had said with Fritz that it's nice he has a good go button, but don't use it quite so much. So, but it's kind of hard to sometimes, because when you're in the show ring, sometimes you get so focused on like writing your test and trying to memorize it that you forget that you've actually got all this other stuff to work on. So, you know, it's training level. We're still working. So, it's going to be all good. And we're actually moving back up to 1st level in our next show next month in May, which is exciting. But let's go to day 2. And this is my first time doing a 2-day show with Fritz. So I wasn't quite sure how he was going to be on Sunday, and he was a little frustrated with me. He was like, Mom, we normally are done after the first day and we go home. So yeah. So you know, the things didn't go quite as smoothly. Like, nothing went horrible. It just wasn't as smooth on Sunday as it was on Saturday. That's okay. I didn't know how it was going to go. It was his first 2-day show, my first 2-day show, our first rated show. It was a lot of firsts for us. I was there just for experience and to have fun. So we did training level 3 first on Sunday, and our score was 63.409. And we got 6th place again, so I got 2 of the pretty lime green ribbons, so very happy with that. And this test was better. But this was actually, Sunday was the day that we got our normal, like, 5.5s. You know, Saturday we didn't get anything lower than a 6 on any of the individual elements, and Sunday was when we got slightly lower scores on a lot of the elements, which, you know, it happens. It's not a big deal. You know, you go in, you do your best, and you take the sheet home, and you go and you learn from it, and you practice it, and you work on it for the next show or test or whatever. So, so you gotta take it all in stride. You can't get upset about it. You know, you just gotta be like, okay, you know, like this one element, I got a 5.5 on, and I knew, and the judge wrote, because I felt I had accidentally made my circle too small. Well, guess what? She wrote circle too small. So obviously, you know, they have to score exactly where the element is at on the, you know, in relation to scores. So so you can't get upset. You know, you just have to take it and just move on and learn from it. And that's one thing that I really like about dressage, is that the placings aren't what matter. It's your score. You can get a qualifying score and still be last in your class. You know, it can be a class of 30 people, and if you still get that qualifying score, you can still qualify. So that's one reason why I really like dressage, because there's not as much emphasis placed on the ribbons. The emphasis is placed on the actual individual score. So that's one reason why I really love this discipline. We had good collective marks with the gaits. This judge wrote that we have nice paces, which is really nice to hear. I really enjoy Fritz's paces. He's a very comfortable pony, and a lot of people have said that he moves well. So it's always nice, you know, to see, especially when it's at the rated show. You know, it's nice to see a comment like that, and that we had nice harmony together, which was really nice, and that's very special to see too, because, you know, he is my first horse. So for people to see the harmony between us is really, really special. So then we had our last test, and this one, Fritz was kind of frustrated with me because we only had, I can't remember, it was less than an hour between tests. So he didn't have time, you know, to be taken back to the stall and untacked and unwind before the next test, because the day before I had a test at, like, it was like 10 or 11 something, and then my next one wasn't till almost 4 in the afternoon. So Fritz does really well when the classes are paced out like that. When they're really close, like this one, I think, yeah, I remember my times for this one. I wrote at 10 o'clock, and then I wrote at 10:52. He doesn't do as well when the classes are that close together. But, you know, you don't pick your times, and you just go out and ride and do your best. So I'm not complaining at all. You know, I'm just saying that Fritz was a little more frustrated in this test, and when I upload the videos, you'll see that this is definitely the one where he was like, I am done. But we still got a good score. You know, we got a 60.962, which I was very pleased with, because the test was, as far as pacing went, it was the only test that I didn't rush through the whole time at the show. So I was very pleased with that, and I think that threw me off just because the rhythm was different. So I was kind of like trying to figure out how to ride all the elements with this different pacing that I was trying. So, you know, I mean, I'm trying to figure stuff out, and Fritz is kind of like, I'm done, Mommy. I kind of want to leave now. So, you know, it happens. It happens. It's all good. And in this class, we got 5th place, which I was very happy with. And one thing that I loved was that all of our ribbons, if you guys notice, are Easter colors. So we're like very springy. So it's pretty fun, pretty funny. And in this test, so I was right. We didn't get lower than a 7 on our halts, and our highest score was an 8. So I was very pleased with that. This test, we only got 1 5.5 and 1 5, and the rest were, or excuse me, we got 2 5s. I see that now. I don't have my glasses on, so it's kind of hard to see these sometimes. So But yeah, overall, this was a not a bad test. And the collective marks, or the further remarks, one thing she said, and this was one of my favorite comments, was that she said, this judge said that we have an attractive partnership. And he was a little fussy in connection. I think he was a bit more than a little fussy. He was kind of like doing like this during that test, but it was kind of funny. The canter transition needs improved balance. Yeah, the transition it's a little rough. It's getting better, but the transition with him has always been rough. The canter's always been rough. But we're getting there. We're fixing it. And I need to keep the trot tempo active. So there's a difference between slowing it down and keeping it active than slowing it down and it kind of going do-ba-do-ba-do. So I got to work on that. But I overall could not have been happier with this show. It was super fun. I got to show with all my dressage ladies, which was so much fun. And like I said, the facility was nice. I learned so much. I wouldn't trade the experience for the world. It was just amazing, and I actually loved it so much. I told the manager that I would love for this show to be one that I go to every year. So I'm hoping that this show can be one that I can add on my consistent schedule, and just know that whenever they post their dates that I'll be going to that one. So that'll be really nice if I'm able to do that, because it's not too far from me, and it's a good show. It's a very good show. So like I said, I couldn't have been happier. I'm still on cloud 9 from the show. I couldn't have been prouder of Fritz. My trainer said that Fritz really held his own out there with all those big fancy dressage horses, and he did. I mean, we were, except for the third place, we were kind of bottom of the lot as far as placings went, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that we went out there, we held our own, we got good scores. I mean, our scores were better than I was expecting. And they were consistent, which is nice, and I like that. So we just went out there and we just had a ball, and it was just wonderful. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it took me so long to update you on the show, and I promise I will get the videos uploaded to my channel from the show, the tests. I promise I'll get those uploaded soon. I'm in the process of getting some updates done so that I can get them off my phone onto YouTube. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Later.